Alright, so we found this old log here in the woods, and I'm pretty sure it's cedar. And I make small wooden projects like tap handles and music shaker boxes and little bitty things. And so we're going to check and see if any of this is still good. I'm guessing it is. That's what the end looks like. But I'm betting that there's a lot of good wood in there that I can use for my little projects. Alright, so that tells me we got good wood in there. Just a matter of getting to it, and that kind of confirms my thought that that was cedar. Alright, I'm going to try to make this a little less spiky, make it easier to work on. Alright, so now that I got all these little nubs cut off, I can either put this on a table saw, try to square it up if I want to use this for flat pieces of wood like for music boxes or flat tap handles, or put it on the lathe and turn it down, turn all this bad stuff here off, and then I'll have this good cedar underneath of it to work with in rounds. I think I'll try to probably get some flat pieces out of this. Alright, to make this a little easier to work with, I'm going to cut it. And you can see I kind of got a natural bend right about there. So that's pretty straight on that side, and then it kind of goes up straight on that side. So I'm going to cut it right about there, and then maybe get this part here on the table saw and see if I can't square it up maybe just a little bit. There might be enough there to work with. Alright, so I got this on the table saw. You can see the saw blade pretty much comes up tall enough to be able to handle this board, especially as I start cutting some of this off. So I'm going to set it where I got a pretty small gap right here, enough to cut some of this off, and we'll just start working on it and see if we get anything that looks like it's usable. If not, I'll just end up with a bunch of scrap pieces of cedar, and those burn or whatever just fine. Alright, so got a couple of these nubs here cut off, and this is a little flatter, make another pass at it here. Alright, this part right here is wanting to make this kick out. Alright, that was going pretty good, but I got to this part right here and it sticks out a little bit. It's wanting to kick this out, which is going to put bind on the saw. So we're going to have to back out, cut this off, and then try it again. Alright, if we wanted to fill this in with epoxy, colored epoxy or something, that might be pretty cool. But that's not what I'm going for, so we're going to have to keep cutting, see if we can get some good stuff. And I think I might go a little bit deeper on my cut. I can always come back and shallow it up some. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna flip this on the flat side. Now that I've got a little bit of a flat side, and we'll cut some off this side here. that's starting to get more where we want it. If the best I get is something like this, that might be okay, because I can fill that in with the clear epoxy and it'll look pretty cool. Obviously have to keep going a little bit on a lot of this, but we might get a few pieces out of this. Alright, so I think I got this cleaned up enough to where I can tell what I want to use and what I don't. So there's a little bit of stock right here that I can use down to about this knot for smaller pieces that I might need, like the sides of a music shaker box or something, or some inlay. And then this part here, not so sure there's a lot to salvage there, but we get down here to this end. And this has got some decent wood in it, so I'm probably going to cut this here and then maybe cut it here again and keep experimenting, see if I got anything good inside this part right here, and then we'll just put this in the wood pile, so when we need a little piece of cedar for something, we got it. Alright, so I think I'm done with this end of that cedar log. I've got some pieces here that I can get some pieces of inlay or maybe some sides of some shallow boxes out of. And the rest of this will just go in the burn pile, unless the wife wants me to cut it into shavings or put in a sachet or something to put in a drawer. Who knows? Alright, I'm kind of disappointed in this piece. Maybe I was just expecting too much because it was a little bit bigger, but I do have some decent wood down here that I can use for small projects. But then I still got these big areas where it's pretty rotted. So I'm going to cut this stuff up into smaller chunks. This end here, you know, might have some potential for something, but there's just a lot of it that's rotted like this. But at any rate, we'll still get some small pieces out of this that we can use. And if nothing else, the log is cut up and ready to be burned. 2 birds, 1 stone. Alright, so we're going to call that done. May seem like a lot of work for just a little bit of scrap pieces of cedar, but I like to repurpose things, reuse them, don't let anything go to waste. So again, there's some pieces in there that we can get some good side panels on some musical shaker boxes, stuff like that.